Hi guys, I'm Jessie of Crochet by Jessie. Welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my crochet do's and don'ts, which I think are important for both beginner crocheters and more experienced crocheters alike. There are a lot of hacks and tips that are out there that not everyone knows about, so even if you have experience with crochet or you are just starting totally from the beginning, some of these points that I'm going to give to you guys, I think they're valuable in either case. So with all of that being said, let's get into today's video. The first don't for me is don't just use standard metal crochet hooks. I promise I do have a reason for this. I just think that when I used to use just plain metal crochet hooks, because I used to do it for years, I will say, I had the worst repetitive strain injury in my right wrist. It was really honestly awful. Sometimes I wouldn't even be crocheting much and it would just flare up and I wouldn't really be able to do much of anything, let alone crochet. So ever since I stopped using plain metal crochet hooks, I've had such a difference. And then that will take us to what you should do. So do use ergonomic crochet hooks. I've been using ergonomic crochet hooks, I want to say for over a year. I don't know the exact date. I want to say about maybe a year and a half. And I have not had issues with my wrist, with my repetitive strain injury. Nothing has flared up. It's been completely changing just overnight. There was a huge difference. And yeah, it takes a tiny bit of getting used to, but honestly, these silicone beads make such a difference. And yeah, you get to the point where you're so used to crocheting with them. And then on top of that, you can have a little bit of funky personality put into it as well. So for me, I would say definitely do use ergonomic crochet hooks. You can get them in quite a few different forms. For me, these silicone beads is absolutely perfect. I have more hooks than I would probably want to admit that I have with this style, but it's such an improvement to my crocheting technique, quality, experience overall. So that's a really important point. The second don't that I think is really important is don't just wing it with a stitch count for a project. There are going to be certain projects, I will say, that if you freehand it and it doesn't necessarily matter what your stitch count is, that's a different story. But if you have to have a very specific stitch count, you really want to keep track on it, because especially if you're a beginner, for example, and you're working on just building rows of a certain stitch, you want to keep track of how many stitches you're doing for each row, because you can so easily accidentally gain a stitch or decrease and your work starts to cave in and then go back out again, and it just doesn't look like you'd hope for it to look like. And even with experienced crocheters, they may just get a little bit too confident, let's say, and think, oh, well, I don't need to keep track of my stitches as much because I know it's fine. And then by the end of the project, realise that that really wasn't the case. So to overcome this don't, I would say that what you should do is use stitch markers. Stitch markers are such an easy but effective way to be able to keep track of what stitches you're doing and how many you're doing. And I feel like so many people just think, oh, well, they're not that important, but they make such a massive difference in your work. I have a few different examples of stitch markers here. I've just got the basic plastic ones, which to be honest are my go-to ones. And then you can have ones with like a metal clasp, kind of like a necklace clasp that you can put straight into the stitch. And by having these in your projects, one, it's great for beginners because you can show the first stitch and the last stitch in your overall row just so they know where they're working into. But even if you're doing a really complex pattern and you need to have a certain amount of repeats, or you have X amount of stitches until another repeat, just to keep track of it, it saves you from maybe making a really easy error that maybe you make at the start of your project and you don't even see it until you've done so many more hours worth of work into it. So stitch markers, that's a massive what you should do when you crochet, and I cannot say that enough. I will also add that some people kind of just stick yarn in as well and say that's like a stitch marker. I get it, and if it works for you then great, but from what I have experienced, because I did try to do that, the yarn just doesn't stay. And I wouldn't want to rely on that as something to do when I feel like the yarn doesn't stay in place, where the stitch markers, it's set in place. So if you are amazing and you're able to keep little like scraps of yarn in place like a stitch marker, then go for that. But I honestly think stitch markers are worth it. The next crochet don't that I will be telling you guys is don't just keep crocheting if your body is telling you it needs to have a break. There are so many people who are probably thinking, oh, I know I've crocheted loads today, but I'm nearly done with my project, so I'm just going to push it a little bit further. But if your body is telling you it needs to rest, then please do listen to it, because there's so much long-term damage and injury that you could risk. You could end up with things like repetitive strain injury, and it's not worth it. You can crochet a bit more the next day. just don't make that a regular habit at all. I know maybe there are some circumstances where you've got like a last minute present or something and there is a deadline, but don't treat that as just a regular and consistent habit when you crochet, because it's not worth it. And then with that being said, what you should do is take regular breaks when you crochet. Make sure that you're stretching your hands before and after you crochet, or just if you feel like you need to during and when you're having like a little mini break, because at the end of the day, that's just helping you. It, one, probably means you'll be able to crochet a little bit longer overall, and two, it's ensuring that you're not going to maybe feel sore the next day or for the week after, so you are going to be able to more consistently crochet overall. Another don't in my crochet don't list is don't jump into a project so early on and just end up out of your depths. What I mean by this is learning a new skill like crochet is so exciting, and a lot of people, probably me included, can be quite impatient and just want to jump into a project, and we're probably not ready to, quite frankly, and it doesn't mean that it's going to go very well, and the reality is most of the times it won't go well. So make sure that you don't do this, purely because if you're a perfectionist like me, you're going to end up so upset with whatever you end up with as your first project, and that's not a fun start to your crochet journey. So with that being said, what you should do is just practice the basics until you have a partly formed confidence of what you're doing. Don't get me wrong, you don't need to be an absolute pro, but I can imagine some people will maybe do one row of single crochet and just be like, done, I know how to do it. Now I'm going to make this massive project just using single crochet. You need to get some more practice in, because there's so many things to factor in. Like, you've got to factor in your tension, because when you're starting to crochet, you probably do not have the most even tension. That's fine. Some people are naturals and their tension is genuinely amazing. And I will forever be envious of all of you guys, because that was not the case for me. And it's probably not the case for a lot of you guys as well. So practice is absolutely crucial in getting your tension down, in being able to make those uniform stitches, and also practicing to make sure that you are getting it right every time, because you may be thinking you are, but you might be making mistakes and not really realizing that you're doing that. I also want to point out that when I say practice and understand stitches, I do not mean absolutely every single stitch. When I say that, I'm thinking in US terms, a double crochet, a single crochet, a half double crochet, and then maybe even a treble crochet, but not necessarily as much with that last one, as well as a chain, of course, and a slip stitch. Because I feel like once you know those stitches, you can make a majority of projects. And if you are just learning maybe one stitch and then you want to go straight into a project, for all you know, it may then discuss doing something in a different stitch and you're not familiar with it, and then you just don't know what to do and you don't end up doing it right. So it's really important to feel like you know all of the basic stitches, that you can do them consistently, that you can do them correctly, and then once you have done that, you can then jump into a project. And even then, I would still recommend doing beginner-friendly projects. I understand that maybe you got into crochet because there was this absolutely amazing design, and then seeing that alone made you want to crochet, but it may be really difficult, and just practice and work up to that level, because it doesn't happen overnight. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't take forever, but crochet is an art form and you do need to put some time and energy into it before you can start getting some rewards back your way. Another crochet don't is don't use a really impractical hook size when you're learning how to crochet. What I mean by this is do not use a giant crochet hook or an absolutely tiny micro crochet minute hook, because that's not going to give you a realistic idea of how to crochet. When you're starting to crochet, I recommend using I would say a 4mm to a 6mm, purely because I feel like that's quite an average crochet hook size. You're able to get the stance and how you hold everything sorted. You're able to get kind of like the maneuvers, the stitches, just a feel for crochet overall. And then you can apply that to the larger hooks and to the smaller hooks, because if you try and crochet with a giant hook to start with, and then you go down a hook size drastically, you're going to find it really hard to shift from that. And the same can be said if you start learning, let's say, micro crochet at the start. And if you do that, props to you, because I could never. And I feel like starting with a hook that tiny, that also won't translate well to when you need to start having larger hook sizes. So in that case, my crochet do make sure you use sensible crochet hook sizes. Once you have more experience and you want to go with some slightly out there sizes with your crochet hooks, go for it. But when you're just starting the basics and getting a feel for crochet overall, you don't want to make it harder for yourself than you need to. You're already learning a new skill, which takes time to learn as well. So if you're using giant hooks or tiny hooks, you are making it 10 times harder for you to learn. Talking about making things easier for yourself, my next crochet don't is don't use yarn and yarn types and yarn fibers that are difficult to work with, because if you're doing that, you're again making life so much more difficult for yourself. You're trying to learn a new skill and you're trying to learn the basics and the foundations of it, and then you're using the most difficult yarn fiber, material, texture, whatever kind of yarn you're using. That is really complex and again is making life harder. It doesn't have to be that way. And if you love that yarn so much, save it or buy it in the future and then use it when you're able to use it, because if you're trying too early on, you're not going to be making the most out of the yarn, and it's a shame when that happens because you're going to have such beautiful yarn and you're going to want to make something beautiful with it. So yeah, I definitely would say don't use really complex fibers, difficult fibers to work with when you're a beginner. Instead, what you should do as a crocheter who's just starting off is work with some really basic beginner friendly fibers. I find that acrylic cotton yarn, it is so good because it doesn't really split, it's not got a complex texture. A lot of it you can just get in one colour as well, so you can see your stitches better. And I feel like overall it's just a far more beginner friendly and practice friendly, teaching friendly kind of yarn to work with. I would also say some cottons, but it depends on the cotton brand because some of them are a little bit more known for splitting, but I would truly stick between those two fibers, maybe a combination of both, but mainly acrylic when you are just starting off as a crocheter. Another crochet don't is don't have a giant first project for you to make when you are starting out as a beginner. The reason for that is because you're learning new skills and quite frankly you don't want to burn out really early on in your crochet journey. When you're learning how to crochet, to be honest, I feel like the ideal thing to do is just make lots of quick, small, beginner-friendly projects. Ones that, yeah, can take a bit of time and be decent in size, but you're not choosing like a gigantic double bed blanket, let's say, in single crochet for your first ever project, because the chances are you won't finish it, and that is okay, but this is just to prevent that from happening. Instead, what your crochet do should be is just do make sure that you're doing attainable projects at the start of your journey. Maybe making small bags, not big bags, maybe making beanies, projects like that, headbands. There are lots of small projects, even coasters, for example, that are still going to challenge you. You're still learning the basics, you're still getting more comfortable with crochet, but you're having the reward of finishing projects, which is really great if you're starting out. You're going to want to continue if you're going, well, look at all these projects I've finished and I'm getting better at it and I'm enjoying it and I can't wait with what to make next. But if you're making a giant blanket and it's tiny stitches and it's pretty repetitive, you're not going to really feel that satisfaction that you're feeling when you're completing more projects that are smaller. You're just going to kind of be looking at this endless project in front of you and questioning, do I really have the time and the energy to finish all of this? I don't feel motivated at all. And I've done that myself. I have quite a few projects that I ended up just kind of giving up partway through because I felt like I'd bitten off more than I could chew. And I tend to really enjoy those slightly smaller projects, which may still be a bit time consuming, but are nowhere near as time consuming as what I could have gotten into. The final crochet do's and don'ts that I will go into is related to posture. So don't hunch over and do the stereotypical crochet kind of bend and lean over to look at your projects, because you're setting yourself up to fail if that's what you're doing when you first start crocheting, because you're going to get used to it and it's going to be a habit and you're going to end up giving yourself so much lower back pain and just pain that's not necessary that you can avoid. So don't have bad posture when you crochet. It's so easy to avoid and to make sure you don't get into that kind of habit, because yet again, that's another thing that's going to hinder how much you can crochet, but also impact your daily life at the same time. With that being said, what you should do in this situation is just maintain a really good posture. There are different kind of cushions and just loads of different aids that you can have which will help with your overall posture when you crochet. I know that subconsciously we do want to kind of get in closer with our projects, and there are ways to do that which is safer and better for you and your body. So I cannot recommend prioritizing that enough, because in the same way as taking breaks when you crochet, when you are crocheting with better posture, you can crochet for longer amounts of time and more frequently. Those are all of my crochet do's and don'ts, which I think are really important and that you guys should take on in your crochet journey as well. If you've gotten to this stage in the video and you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so, as well as pressing the bell to be notified when my next video is up. I do a lot of crochet related content on here, everything crocheted, whether it's tips like I've done today, comparisons of types of crochet, tutorials, challenges, a little bit of everything. And if you want to see more of that, then make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.